In this video, we're going to continue lesson 5.1 on the mean value theorem, and we're going to look at example 3. So what the mean value theorem says is that f is continuous on the closed interval a to b, or if f is continuous on the closed interval a to b and differentiable on the open interval a to b, there exists a number c such that the derivative evaluated at c equals the slope using the slope formula. So some big ideas here is the function must be continuous and differentiable. You'll notice in the function, in a lot of problems, it'll just say differentiable because remember, differentiable, if it's differentiable, it implies that it's continuous. Given interval, if it's closed, it's open. It doesn't really matter as long as you say the closed interval, it's differentiable in the same open interval. MVT guarantees that the IROC, the instantaneous rate of change equals the AROC, the average rate of change, somewhere on the interval. So MVT is what we call an existence theorem. That means it guarantees something will occur, but does not specify where it actually occurs. And we will approach MVT problems the similar way we did IVT, check conditions, use endpoints, state conclusions. So first things we want to do is it says we're supposed to apply the mean value theorem, find all the values of C which satisfy the mean value theorem. So first thing you have to notice, is your function continuous and differentiable? It's a good old polynomial, so it is. But you need to make that statement. F of x is continuous and differentiable. Therefore, MVT applies. MVT is one of the few abbreviations you are allowed to use on the exam. That's a B. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out the slope. So I need to calculate f of 2 minus f of negative 1 over 2 minus negative 1. All right, so I'm putting 2 into x squared, that would be 4. And then I'm subtracting, I'm putting negative 1 into x squared, and that would be 1 over 3. So it looks like I've got 3 over 3, which is just 1. Now what it's saying is in order to figure out what my c value is, I can take the derivative of this and set it equal to the slope. So I'm going to take the derivative of the function, which equals 2x. I'm going to take that and set it equal to 1. So 2x equals 1. So the value that this happens to be at is 1/2, which is technically your c value. We could have put a c in there instead of x. All right, so let's try this again. So first of all, I've got a polynomial. So I know that it's continuous. I know I can take the derivative of that. I just have to make that statement. So f of x is continuous and differentiable. And even though I know that that's probably, you're probably not going to type that into whatever online system we use, write it out, get in that habit right now, okay? Because you're going to have to do it on the test. You're going to have to do it on the AP test. All right, so I'm going to calculate f of 1 minus f of negative 1 over 1 minus negative 1. Those are going to go positive. I know my denominator's 2. I'm putting a 1 in. So it looks like I get 1 minus 1 minus 2, which is just going to be negative 2, minus, I'm putting in a negative 1. So that would be negative 1. It'd be negative 1 squared would be 1, so minus 1. And then minus negative 2 is going to go positive. So it's negative 2 plus 2. It looks like 0 to me. So it's looking like negative 2 over 2, which is equal to negative 1. So now I'm going to take the derivative. The derivative is 3x squared minus 2x minus 2. I'm going to set that equal to negative 1. So this is a quadratic, so I'm going to bring this over. 3x squared minus 2x. I'm adding the 1 minus 1 equals 0. I'm going to start with a magic x. So two numbers that multiply to negative 3 and add to negative 2 would be negative 3 and 1. I am going to have to use the box because I have a leading coefficient. So 3x squared and negative 1, and then negative 3x and 1x. I know 3 is 3x times 1x. 3 divides negative 3, negative 1 times. 1 divides 1 once. Check it. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So we've got 3x plus 1 times x minus 1 equals 0. I am going to split those up and set them both equal to 0. So I get 3x equals -1, x equals -1/3, and then x equals 1. So I need to double check what my interval is. And it looks like they both fit in the interval. So these are both C values.